Hi, this is Keshav. Today I'm going to show you guys how we can do machine learning directly in Power BI by using Python. Alright, let's get started. If you could see my screen, there is one dataset, there is employee dataset opened. This employee dataset I'm going to use for this prediction. So the problem statement here is by using this employee dataset, I want to predict employee churn. Alright. So in fact, I used same dataset in my previous video as well. There I predicted employee churn by using Azure ML Studio. There I shown you guys how we can deploy predicted model to web service, and finally we integrated that model to Power BI. We passed input values in the Power BI and got predicted result. So that's what we did in previous video. Now I'm going to show you guys how we can directly do machine learning in Power BI by using Python coding. Alright, let's get started. As I shown in my previous video as well, this dataset has got independent variables as well as dependent variables. Okay, these all are independent variables and this is dependent variable. Left column is dependent variable. This column is completely depends on the input values those we are passing through these independent variables. Alright, so if you can observe this this dataset has got both input values as well as the output values also what we expect to post our model development, right? So these all are input variables, those will be passing to the model, and what we expect is the value for left column, right? That's what we predict. As this dataset has got both input and output values, so this dataset is best fit for supervised learning algorithms. All right. So what is meant by supervised learning? If our algorithm is trained by using such dataset and get the prediction done, so that type of algorithms fall under supervised learning. So as we are passing both the input values and also the outcome what we are expecting post our model development as well. What we expect based on the input values those we given and also the output value also that we given, our model should predict same outcome for this given inputs, whatever the outcome we are giving. Okay, it has to predict same thing. Okay, so in case if it is not giving same value, then our model is not trained correctly. Okay, so once our algorithm is learned by using this data, then in future we no need to pass output value based on the input value those we are passing. Our algorithm should predict the output value with respect to the input values those we are passing. That's how it should work. Okay, but especially for supervised learning algorithms, for training purpose we need to pass both input as well as output values as well. All right, so based on that it will be trained and it will predict the outcome. How unsupervised learning algorithms work? For unsupervised learning algorithms, we no need to give output value, we have to pass only input values. Based on that pattern that we pass through input values, in our model will be trained and it will predict the outcome. That's how unsupervised learning algorithms work. All right, I hope this is clear. Now as I said, the problem statement here is I'm gonna use this dataset, I'm gonna predict employee churn. Okay, so here the outcome is either 1 or 0, right? If the expected outcome either 1 or 0 or yes or no, classification algorithms are best fit algorithms for such type of problem statements. Here as we are predicting only either 1 or 0, so the best fit algorithm would be our classification algorithms. Again, under classification we have got many other algorithms available. So but best fit algorithm for our requirement especially here is decision tree. Let's use decision tree algorithm and get prediction done. Okay, all right. So what we can do, we can write Python code directly in Power BI, but the problem is, there it will be very difficult for debugging. So what I'll do, I'll just write Python code directly in Jupyter Notebook. Later, the same code we'll use in Power BI. All right, let me get you guys into my Jupyter Notebook. Already I have Jupyter Notebook opened here. So as a first step, what we need to do, we need to import the required packages or libraries, right? So let me import all the required packages and libraries. So for that I have listed out all the required libraries here. I don't want to waste time in typing, so let me copy and paste it here. All right, these are the libraries and algorithms those we require for our prediction here. All right, so I'm gonna execute. We need, as we are using decision tree algorithms, so we need to import that tree classifier here. I'm going to import train test split, and also I am importing this one label encoder. I'll tell you what is the purpose of label encoding here, and I'm importing pandas and numpy as well. All right. So we are done. So next step is we need to import the dataset, right? So let me take the path here. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to create one data frame and import the data from CSV file. Okay. How we can do that? I'm going to say dataset equal to pd.readcsv. As you all know that readcsv is the function that we use to import the data from CSV file. Okay. CSV. I'm going to give the path here. All right. Let me run this query. It's been executed. Let me check how the sample data is. Okay. All right. If you want to go for head function also, of course you can go. Okay. All right. This is our data set. It's been loaded here into Jupyter Notebook, and we created one data frame as well. Okay. The data frame name is dataset. All right. There is a purpose why I given data frame name as dataset, that I'll let you know later. In machine learning, the very important thing is pre-processing. So we can't use complete dataset blindly. There will be few columns which are not even required for prediction, which if you use, in fact, those might impact your prediction outcome. So you need to be very careful, and you need to check if there are any missing values or null values or something else. If there such missing values or null values are there, we need to handle them, right? Let me check in our dataset if there are any missing values. How we can check? By using info function, we can check if there are any missing values. All right. I could see there are 15k records. Okay. I don't see any missing values, so we are good. And other things here, if you see this data set, there is employee ID here, and if you see here, there is department, and also we have got department underscore 1. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to use department underscore 1. I want to drop that, and also employee ID. Employee ID doesn't make sense to pass this to a machine learning algorithm, right? In fact, if you pass this, it will disturb our prediction outcome. All right. So what I need to do, I need to drop these two columns. Okay. How we can do that? Let me drop them by using drop function. Okay. And we need to specify the fields those we are gonna drop. Employee ID, and also we're gonna drop department underscore 1, right? All right, we need to specify access equal to 1 and in place equal to true. Okay, if you say in place equal to true, then only our operation will be saved. In place equal to true. All right, what is the problem? Oh yeah. Okay, all done. Let me see the sample data if those columns are really dropped. All right, we don't have employee ID, and also there is no department underscore 1 as well. All right, those two columns are dropped. Now we are good to go ahead with our the further steps. Okay, so next step, what I'm gonna do is, yeah, another thing what we need to do as part of pre-processing. If you observe here, there is salary column, right? Salary field, which has got categorical value. All right, how machine learning works? Machine learning, what it does a lot of mathematical equations and calculations. So that's how it works, right? So in the input variable, those we are passing should have only numeric value. Okay, so we should not have categorical value. That's a very important thing that we should understand. If you see here, there is salary column which has got a categorical value, but it doesn't have numerical value. Okay, that we need to convert. The advantage of using decision tree is, decision tree is the only algorithm which will work even for categorical data as well. Okay, it works for numerical as well as it works for categorical data. So without even converting also we can continue, but let me show you guys how we can convert. Okay, For that I just imported one package, that is label encoder from scikit-learn. That's part of pre-processing. Okay, let me use that to convert our categorical data into numerical data. All right, label encoder. So we're gonna convert salary from categorical to numerical, right? So data set le dot fit transform data set, wanna use salary. Okay, let me execute this. All right, it's been executed. Let's see sample data how it is. All right, it's been converted to numerical data now. All right, before it was categorical, now it's been converted to number. Okay, so good. And yeah, sometimes what happen, only label encoder will not help sometimes. For example, let's take just assume one field, it has got values like male, female, and not specified, right? In that case, if you convert that into number, it might give like 1 for male, 2 for female, and 3 for not specified, right? So in that case, what happens, sometimes there will be issue, or your model might not able to predict properly. So in that case, what we need to do, we need to use one hot encoder. What it does, it will create columns for each categorical value that we have in the given a variable. For example, sex is a field which has got male, female, and not specified. Okay, so if you use one hot encoder, what it does, it will split that all categorical value into 3 different fields, like one field for male, one field for female, and other field for not specified, right? That's how it works. Let's not worry about one hot encoder here. Our dataset is okay. We no need to do that. Okay, fine. Let's continue with label encoder only. All right, the salary field is being converted to numerical now. Now the next step is processing the data. Okay, let's get started with the data processing. So as part of that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one variable and pass left column, that is dependent column for that variable. All right, that is all right. Let me execute. Then I want to create one more variable and pass all independent variables to that. I have already listed out here. Let me use same variable instead of typing and wasting time. All right, here if you can observe, I am creating one variable, that is int_vars, and I given all independent variable names here. Okay, so let me run it, and now I'm gonna map those independent variables from the dataset to X variable. Okay, data set, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use independent variables. All right, spelling mistake here. All right, okay, it's not mapped. There is one error. Let's see what is that error. If you go down all the way, okay, what it says, department not an index. Okay, since there is some issue with the department, what happens if spell that field incorrectly, and sometimes if there is space also, it might happen. It's not been identified. Let's see what is the issue, and for that what we'll do, we'll list out all the fields from the dataset and we'll see if there are any issues. Okay, for that what we can do, we can use list function. In the list function, data set dot columns dot values. Okay, let me execute this. It will list out all the fields. Okay, it has listed out all the fields from the dataset. All right, there is no any issue with this field. No space here too. Okay, yeah, all right, there is space here for the department field. Okay, so because of that, it's not been identified and it's not been mapped to X variable. All right. So what we can do, we need to trim out this space. Okay. How we can do that? So by using one function called strip, we can do that. Dataset dot columns equal to dot strip. Okay. By using this function, you can remove space. I'm going to execute that, and let's see the same now. Execute the list again. Alright, now there is no space. Okay, so we are good to go ahead with data processing. Okay, let me execute this again. Let's see if it is being mapped now. Alright, it's been mapped to X variable. What is the next step is we need to split the data for training as well as test purpose. Okay, for that what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create some variables X train, X test, Y train, Y test. Okay, equal to, alright, train test split. I'm gonna say X, Y. Alright, we're gonna split the data. Of course, if you want to specify how much data you want to use for training purpose, you can specify that. It may be 20% or 30%. I am not gonna specify. Let's take a default value. Okay, so run it. It's been executed. Now the next step is we need to call our algorithm, that is decision tree algorithm. Okay, how decision tree algorithm works? Okay, let me show you guys. Okay, if you can take this, a decision tree algorithm builds the classification model in the form of tree structure. Okay, let me show you how it will be. So there will be, tree structure means it will split our data set into multiple nodes. Okay, the initial node is root node, and root node will be split into different nodes. Root node will be split into next level of nodes, decision nodes, and decision nodes will be split into the further nodes. Likewise, it will keep on splitting our dataset into multiple nodes until it reaches to leaf or terminal nodes. Okay, once any node reaches to terminal node, and then there won't be further split. Okay, so there it will be stopped. We can't expect any more split after reaching to either leaf or terminal node. Okay, this is a decision node, and just assume this has been reached to a leaf node. Okay, and this also been reached to leaf node. Once it is reached to leaf node, there won't be any more splits. Now just assume still it is under a decision node. If still is under decision node, we can expect further split until it reaches to terminal or leaf node. Just assume it has reached to leaf node. This is how our decision tree algorithm will split the dataset into multiple levels. It will predict the outcome. Alright, I hope this is clear. Let me go back to Jupyter Notebook again. And now let's call our decision tree algorithm and let the model predict the results. Alright, so I'm gonna create one variable, that is DC tree dot decision tree classifier. Alright, now I'm gonna say DC dot now let's fit X train and Y train data to our algorithm. Alright, DC dot fit. Let's create some variables for prediction and probability. I'm gonna create Y predict equal to dc dot predict x. Then y probability equal to, I'm gonna create one more variable for probability. All done. Let me execute. Okay, it's been executed. Okay, all done. If you look at the dataset currently, right, so we don't have this prediction and probability columns in our dataset, right? Let's add them to our dataset. Okay, let's add those two columns to our dataset. How we can do that? Okay, dataset. I'm gonna create one column called predict, and for that I'll be passing the value from the variable that I just created, that is y predict. Okay, and also I'm gonna create one more field called probability. That is alright. I'll be passing that value from y probability variable that I just created. Alright, let me run this. All good. Now let me execute our dataset again. Of course, I can do here itself. Dataset. All right, we could see now those two columns are there. Yeah, predict as well as probability. Those two columns being added to our dataset. All right. Now, what I want to do, I want to test our model accuracy. Okay. For that, I just created some calculations. Okay, let me use them directly. So instead of typing again, so I'm gonna test train accuracy and test accuracy. Let's see how our algorithm been trained and tested. Okay, so I'm gonna execute these two queries. Print. What I'm gonna say, train accuracy. Test accuracy. Alright, let me execute. Our model is perfectly trained and tested. Training accuracy is 100% and testing accuracy is 97.7%. Alright, it's awesome prediction. So our model is very good. It's a very good result we have got. Okay, what we'll do, we'll take this code and integrate this code to Power BI directly. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So for that, what I need to do, I need to copy and paste the code I written in each cell in the Jupyter notebook, right? So I don't want to waste time. For that, what I'll do, I'll pause this video and copy paste this complete cell value to Notepad, and I'll show you guys how we can use this code directly in Power BI. Alright, so here what I'll be skipping is this step I'll be skipping because it's not required. I have already dataset loaded into Power BI. This dataset will be used for the Python code that we written for our prediction. Alright, so this step is not required, and also wherever I see the sample data, right, those and all not required, and also the final one, the accuracy test, that also I'll be skipping. It's not required. Alright, so in case if you require, of course you can use it, but I'm not using it as of now. Alright, so let's continue with that. Let me pause the video for now. Alright, I have copy pasted the complete script from the Jupyter notebook. I'm gonna copy this and directly jump into Power BI desktop. Alright, in the Power BI desktop, as I said already, I have dataset loaded here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to home and transform. Under transform data, there is one option called transform. Go to transform option here. If you go all the way right here, there is run Python script. Okay, open that component. There will be small window open where you can write your Python script. So as already we written Python script, I'm gonna copy paste the complete script here. Okay, if you could see here the import step, right, that we imported data from our CSV into data frame. So that step is not there because already we imported here. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say okay, we have got nothing to do, just copy and paste that Python script here and run the script. It may take few seconds, bear with me and just wait for the result. Alright, it's up now. Okay, there is one table created. Okay, so just click on the table to expand all the columns. I'm gonna expand the table. Alright, so our dataset is expanded. Another thing I forgot to show you guys, the dataset that I put into Power BI, it has got employee ID and department underscore 1. So I did not remove those columns because we already written the Python script here to drop unwanted columns, right? So our Python script will take care of that. Alright, so I did not drop those unwanted columns in Power BI. Okay, so now if you observe this result, we don't have those unwanted columns. We have got only the input variables, those we passed, and also the outcome that we got from the model. So we are done with our machine learning development here in the Power BI. So what I want to do, I want to compare the original column with the predicted column. Let's see. Already we checked accuracy was, train accuracy was 100% and test accuracy was 97.7%. Let's see, let's compare if there is any difference. Let's go ahead and just say close and apply. It's been closed now. Data is being loaded. Let's wait for a few seconds. Alright, data has been loaded. Now I'm going to create one visual just to compare the original column with our predicted column. Alright, let's add either donut chart or pie chart. Let's compare the percentage here. I'm gonna call left here. Let me just go for count, and also I'm gonna pass that for legend. Here if you could see 21.8% is left and 76.1% is 0, that is the employees, those are staying back in the company. Alright, let me copy and paste same visual. I'm gonna just change only fields. Okay, in place of left I'm gonna use the prediction here. Under value, let me take off this and go for count. Okay, and also let me pass this to legend as well. So almost our prediction is 100% accuracy. So there is a small difference that is expected. Alright, this is how we can do machine learning directly in Power BI. And what are the visuals if you want to create, you can create, and you can go ahead with your report development also if you want. And if you want to create any custom visuals by using Python on top of this predicted result, of course you can do that by using Python visual here. Alright, thanks for watching my video. Please do subscribe for more videos. We'll meet again with a different concept. Until then, bye bye, see you.